And I'm Chavez. I'm another director.
And this play is called A Doll's House. It was written in the 1800s by Henrik Ibsen, and it is a very powerful story, one that wasn't common during the time. And I think it has a very important role even in contemporary ages now, so we wanted to bring it back and shed a new perspective on it, and shed some light on it.
We're very proud of our cast. We've worked really hard. It was originally around a 2, maybe 3 hour play. We cut it down to around 30, 45 minutes. We are very proud of all of our cast, of what we've done, of all the work, the tech, everything that's gone wrong and gone right. We're very happy with everything that's happened in this cast and with our production. And we're really, really proud to come present this to you tonight.
And we're very excited, and we hope the show resonates with you. All right?
Thank you.
Is that my lark twittering there?
Oh, yes it is. Come, Torvald, and see what I've been buying.
Come, we can't afford to squander money.
Oh, just the least little bit. You know, you'll soon be earning heaps of money.
Yes, from New Year's, but there's still a whole quarter before my first salary is due.
Well, never mind. We can borrow in the meantime.
Nora, you know my principles on these points. No borrowing and no debt. Home life ceases to be free and beautiful as soon as it's founded on borrowing and debt.
As you please, Torvald.
Come. My lark must not droop her wings like that. Now tell me, my little spendthrift, have you thought of anything for yourself?
Oh, I don't want anything.
Nonsense. Surely you've thought of something.
Well, you might give me money, Torvald. Only what you think you can spare. I might spend it on something later on.
Huh, that's precisely nothing.
Well, I save as much as I ever can.
Well, that's precisely nothing.
If only you knew what expenses we larks have.
You know, Nora, you're a strange little thing, just like your father. Always on the lookout for all the money you can get your hands on. But the second you have it, it seems to slip through your fingers.
If only I had inherited many of my papa's qualities.
And I don't wish you anything but what you are, my own sweet little songbird.
Oh, there's a ring.
I'm not at home to comers. Remember that.
How do you do, Nora?
How do you do?
You don't recognize me?
No, I don't believe so. Oh, Christina! Is that really you?
Yes, it is.
Oh, it's been so long. You've changed.
No doubt in 9 or 10 years.
Oh, has it really been 8 years since we last saw each other? Oh, the last 8 years have been such a happy time. And now you've come to town?
Yes, I arrived by morning steamer.
Oh, to have a Merry Christmas, of course. Do take your things off. Yes, now I can see that dear old face again. You're a little paler, Christina.
And much older, Nora.
Perhaps. Oh, what a thoughtless wretch I am. How could you ever forgive me?
What do you mean, Nora?
I forgot that you're a widow.
Well, yes, my husband died 3 years ago.
Yes. I saw it in the papers. Oh, I did mean to write to you, Christina, but I kept putting it off.
My dear Nora.
No, it was horrid of me. And he left you nothing?
Nothing.
And no children?
None. Not even a sorrow or a longing to dwell upon.
Oh, you're so utterly alone. How dreadful that must be. You must tell me everything.
No, I want you to tell me.
No, I won't be egotistical today. Today I'll only think of you. Oh, but you must have heard of our great stroke of fortune.
No, what is it?
Well, my husband was just made manager of the joint stock bank.
Oh, how fortunate.
Yes, isn't it? He's started his new job on the New Year's Day. He's to have a large salary, and in the future, we'll be able to live as we please. It's delightful to have lots of money and no need to worry about anything, isn't it?
Haven't you learned recently? In our school days, you were a shocking little spendthrift.
Yes, that's what Torvald says I am still. But Nora isn't as silly as you all think. I haven't had much time to be a spendthrift. I've had to work too, you know.
You too.
Yes, like fancy work, crochet, embroidery, and things of that sort. You know, of course, that Torvald left the government services as soon as we were married. But he had little chance of promotion, and he had to make lots of money. But he got terribly ill, and the doctor said that he must go south.
You spent a whole year in Italy, didn't you?
Yes. It wasn't easy to manage. I was expecting little of Hurstworth daily, and we had to go. But it cost a frightful lot of money.
I would imagine so.
$1,200. Isn't that a lot of money, Christina?
How fortunate you have the money to spend.
Well, we got it from Father, you must know.
Yes, he died just about that time, didn't he?
Yes. And only think, I couldn't go and nurse him. As I said, I was expecting little of Hart's birth, and I had my poor sick Torvald to attend to. I never saw him again.
You know how fond you were of him. Then you went to Italy.
Yes, the doctor said that we must go, and we had the money, so we started a month later.
And your husband came back completely cured.
Yes, sound as a bell. Oh, what a wretch! Here I am talking about nothing but my own concerns. You must tell me. Is it true that you loved your husband, or that you didn't love him? Why did you marry him?
Well, you see, my mother was bedridden and helpless, and I had my 2 younger brothers to think of. I didn't think it was right for me to refuse him.
Oh, well, I suppose he was rich then?
Very well off, I believe. But his business was uncertain. It fell to pieces at his death, and we had nothing left. Then I had to fight my way by keeping shop, a little school, anything I could turn my hand to. The last 3 years have been one long struggle, but now my mother is at rest, and the boys are in business and can look after themselves.
Well, how free you must feel.
No, Nora, only inexpressibly empty. No one to work for. To find something to occupy one's thoughts. If only I could get some office work.
Oh, but you're so worn out already.
I don't have the father to give me the money, Nora.
Oh, don't be vexed with me.
No, Nora. Don't you be vexed with me. When I heard of the happy fortunes in your life, can you believe it? I was more happy for my own sake more than for yours.
Do you mean that Torvald could do something for you?
Well, I hoped so.
And so he shall, Christina. You just leave it to me.
How good of you, Nora, who knows so little of the troubles and the burdens of life.
I know so little of...
Oh, a little fancy work here and there. You're a child, Nora.
Oh, you're just like the rest. You all think I'm fit for nothing serious, and you think I've had no troubles in this world.
You've just told me all of your troubles.
Well, I haven't told you the great thing.
What do you mean?
I know you look down upon me, Christina, but you have no right to. I, too, have something to be proud of. I saved Torvald's life.
Saved his life? How?
Well, I told you about going to Italy. He would have died but for that.
Yes, and your father gave you the money.
So Torvald and everyone believes. But
But?
Papa didn't give us 1 penny. It was I who got the money, $1,200. What do you say to that?
How did you manage it? Did you win it in the lottery?
In the lottery, anyone could do that.
Well, of course you couldn't have borrowed it.
Why not?
Well, a wife must never borrow without her husband's consent.
Well, I never said I borrowed it. I could have gotten it from someplace else. Some admirer, maybe.
You're too silly, Nora.
And I bet you're dying of curiosity, Christina.
Listen here, Nora. Don't you think you're being a little rash?
Is it rash to save one's husband's life?
I think it's rash of you without your husband's knowledge.
It would have been fatal for him to know. The doctors came to me privately and told me that Torvald's life was in danger, and the only thing that could save him was the winter in the south. And when I hinted that he could borrow money, he got angry, Christina. He said I was being frivolous and it was his duty as my husband not to give in to my whims. So then I found a way to do it.
And did your husband ever find out from your father that the money was not from him?
No. Papa died at that very time.
Did you ever confess?
No. How could I? It'd be so humiliating for him. And our beautiful, happy home would never be again what it was.
Will you ever tell him?
Perhaps. Maybe. When Torvald isn't so much in love with me as he is now. When it doesn't amuse him to see me dancing about and acting and singing. Oh, but that'll never happen. So what do you say to my grand secret, Christina? You must know that in business there's these things called investments and bank installments and quarterly interests that are terribly hard to provide for. So I've had to pinch a little here and there.
So it had to come out of your own pocket?
Well, when Torvald gave me money for clothes and such, I never spent more than half of it. Yes, but I don't know how much I've been able to scrape together. All I know is that I've got enough, and hopefully it's enough.
Thank you, Nora. There's a ring. I better go.
No, you must stay. It should be someone for Torvald. You? What do you want with my husband?
Bank business, in a way. I hold a small post in the joint stock bank, and your husband is to be our new chief, I hear.
Please go to his study.
Nora, who was that man?
Mr. Krogstad, a lawyer.
I used to know him. He was in a lawyer's office in our town.
Yes, I heard that his marriage ended very unhappily.
So he's a widower now? I heard his bank business is not of the most credible, they say.
I didn't know that Mr. Krogstad had anything to do with the bank.
Well, I suppose the most delicate characters require the most care.
Oh, well, never mind. It's just so funny to think that Torvald has so much power over so many people. Oh, Torvald's here. Have you gotten rid of him yet?
Yeah, she's just gone.
Oh, well, let me introduce you to someone. This is Christina Linden.
A school friend of my wife's, no doubt?
Yes, and she's taken this long journey just to speak to you.
To speak to me.
Yes. She's tremendously clever at office work, and she's so anxious to work under a first-rate man of business like yourself.
Very sensible indeed.
And when she heard that you were appointed manager, she came at once. Oh, Torvald, for my sake, can't you do something for Christina?
It's very likely I may be able to find a place for you, Miss Linden. You've come at a very fortunate moment.
How can I thank you?
There is no occasion. Now, if you'll excuse us.
Oh, yes. Don't be long, Torvald, dear.
Only an hour, not more.
I must get going as well.
Oh. Well, good night.
Bye, Nora.
Goodbye.
You, Miss Linden?
Thank you very much.
Oh. Don't forget your briefcase.
Oh, thank you.
Goodbye, Nora.
Goodbye.
I beg your pardon, Mrs. Helmer,
What do you want?
to say a few words to you.
To me?
Yes,
It's not
to
the
you.
first date.
No, today is Christmas Eve. It will depend upon yourself whether you have a Merry Christmas.
But I'm not ready today.
Never mind that just now. May I ask if the lady was a Mrs. Linden,
Yes?
who's just come to town?
Yes? Today?
I used to know her.
I know you did.
Now, frankly, is Mrs. Linden to have a place in the bank?
Yes. Miss Linden is to be employed, Mr. Krogstad. I recommended her.
Mrs. Helmer, will you have the kindness to employ your influence on my behalf?
What do you mean?
I can very well understand that it cannot be fortunate for your friend to meet me. And I can also see now for whose sake I'm to be hounded out.
But
And I advise you to use your influence to prevent it.
I have no influence, Mr. Krogstad. Absolutely none.
I thought you said a moment ago
Not in that sense. How could you think that I have any sort of influence over my own husband?
I don't think he is any more inflexible than other husbands.
I must request you to leave the house.
You are bold, madam.
You can't terrify me. When New Year's Day is over, I shall soon be out of this whole business.
Listen to me, Mrs. Helmer. If need be, I shall fight as if though for my life to keep my little place in the bank. Well, I'd better make a clean breast of it. Of course you know, like everyone else, that some years ago I got into trouble.
Yes, I think I heard something of the sort.
The matter never came to court, but from that moment, all paths were barred from me. But now, I must get free of it all. My sons are growing up. For their sake, I must try to recover my character as best as I can. This place in the bank was the first step, and now your husband wants to kick me off the ladder.
You won't tell my husband that I owe you money.
Suppose I were to?
It would be shameful of you. That secret that is my joy and my pride. And for him to learn it for such an ugly way, and from you? Oh, but just do it. Then he'll see what a bad man you really are, and then you certainly won't keep your place.
Listen to me, Mrs. Helmer. Either your memory's defective, or you don't know much about business. When your husband was ill, you came to me to borrow $1,200 on certain conditions. I would give you the money in exchange for a note of hand, which I drew up.
And I signed it.
Quite right, but I added a few lines, making your father security for the debt. Your father was to sign this.
He did.
I'd left the date blank. That is to say, your father was himself to date his signature. Do you recollect that, Mrs. Helmer?
Yes, I believe so.
You were in great trouble at the time, Mrs. Helmer.
Yes.
Your father was very ill, I believe,
He was on his deathbed.
and died soon after?
Yes.
Tell me, what was the date of his death? The date of the month, I mean.
Father died the 29th of September.
Your father died on the 29th of September. But look here. He has dated his signature October 2nd. Is not that remarkable, Mrs. Helmer? Can you explain it? It is noteworthy, too, that the words October 2nd and the year are not in his handwriting, but in one which I believe I know. Of course, it is genuine, Mrs. Helmer. It really was your father who signed this?
I wrote Father's name.
Ah, are you aware, madam, that that is a dangerous admission?
You will soon get your money.
Why did you not send the paper to your father?
It was impossible. My father was so ill that I couldn't tell him that Torvald's life was in danger. It was impossible.
And did it never occur to you that you were playing me false?
I couldn't endure you after all the cruel difficulties you had put on my family, even though you knew how ill my husband was.
The law takes no account of motives.
Then it must be a very bad law.
Bad or not, if I produce this document in court, you'll be condemned according to law.
I don't believe that. Do you mean to tell me that a daughter has no right to spare her father trouble and anxiety? That a wife has no right to save her husband's life?
Very well. Now do as you please. But this I may tell you. If I am flung into the gutter a second time, you shall keep me company. Good day, Mrs. Elena.
No. This can't be. He's just trying to terrify me. Why, this can't be true. Why I did it for love. Oh, Torvald, you're home so soon.
I saw Krogstad come out of the house.
Yes, he was here for just a minute.
I can see by your manner he's been begging you to put in a good word for him.
Yes.
And you're to do so as if on your own accord? You
Yes.
want to say nothing to me if his hadn't been here?
Yes, Torvald.
My little bird must never do that again. A songbird must sing clear and true, no false notes.
Oh, what papers are those?
Bank business.
Already?
Yes, I've got the retiring manager to let me make some necessary changes to the staff and organization. I can have all this looked at through Christmas Eve, and I'd like to have it done by New Year's.
Now tell me, was it anything so very dreadful that this Krogstad did to get into trouble about?
Forgery, that's all.
Maybe he was driven to do it by need?
Yes, or like so many others, he may have done it in pure heedlessness. I'm not so hard-hearted as to condemn a man for an absolute single fault. Many a man can retrieve his character if he owns up to the crime and takes the punishment.
A punishment?
But Krogstad didn't do that, Nora. He evaded the law by means of tricks, and that is what has morally ruined him.
Do you think that?
Think of the mask he must wear towards those who stand as near him, towards his own wife and children. Nora, the effect on the children, that's the most terrible part of it.
Why?
Because in such an atmosphere of lies, home life is poisoned and contaminated in every fiber. Every breath the children draw contains some germ of evil. That is why you must not plead his cause. Come, shake hands upon it. Come, what is this? Give me your hand, and it's a bargain. See, I assure you it would have been impossible for me to work with him. Now, I'd like to get some of these papers looked at through before dinner.
Oh, he would do it. He would do it, so... No, this can't be happening. This can't be happening. Oh, Christina, I'm so glad that you've come. You must help me. Tomorrow evening there's to be a dance at the Council Stenberg's overhead, and Torvald wants me to appear as a Neapolitan Fisher girl and dance in Tarantella.
Oh, I see. Quite a performance.
Yes, he wishes it. See, this is the costume. You see, he had it made for me in Italy, but it's all so torn now. I don't know.
Right?
Oh, how good of you.
So you're to be in costume by tomorrow? I'll tell you what. I shall come in for a moment to see you in all of your glory. Nora, you're hiding something from me.
Can you see it in my face?
Something has happened since yesterday morning, Nora.
Oh, Christina! Hush! I think that's Torvald coming in. He can't bear to see all the dressmaking going on. Do you mind going to the nursery for the present?
Very well, but I shan't go away until you've told me all about it.
Torvald! I've been longing for you to come.
Yes, look here.
Torvald,
Yes?
if your little lark were to ask you for something so charmingly,
Well?
oh, would you do it? Your little lark would tutor from morning till night.
Nora, you can't possibly mean what you were hinting at this morning.
Oh, yes, please. I beg and implore you, let Krogstad keep his place in the bank.
Nora, it's his place I intend for Miss Linden.
Well, you can dismiss some other clerk, maybe. You said so yourself. He writes for the most scurriest of newspapers, and he's just so terrifying to me.
Ah, I understand. It's old recollections that are frightening you. Surely you're thinking of your father?
Yes, just think of the wicked slanders people used to write about father.
Nora, between your father and I, there is all the difference in the world. Your father was not altogether unimpeachable. I am, and I hope to remain so.
That's why I beg and implore you.
And it's just by pleading his cause that you make it all the more impossible for me to keep him. It's already known that I intended Miss Krogstad. And if it were reported that the new manager let himself be turned around by his wife's little finger?
What then?
Oh, nothing. So as long as willful woman can have her way, I'm going to make a laughingstock of myself to the whole staff. Now, we'll put an end to this once and for all. There, Madam Obstinacy.
Torvald, what is in that letter?
Krogstad's dismissal.
No, call it back again, Torvald, please. For the family's sake, you don't know what that letter will hold for us all.
Nora, I forgive your anxiety, though it's anything but flattering to me. Why do you suppose that I should be afraid of that man? I assure you my shoulders are broad enough to bear the whole burden.
What do you mean by that?
The whole burden, I say.
That you shall never, never do.
Fine then, we'll share it as man and wife, Nora. That's how it should be. Come, don't let my luck have this wild excitement.
You put the letter in the box. And Kronk said he... No, if there were only a way of escape, I don't know what to do. Speak softly, my husband is at home.
That's nothing to me.
What is it you want?
A little information.
Be quick then, what is it?
My dismissal.
I couldn't prevent it, Mr. Krogstad. I fought for you to the last, but it was of no use.
Does your husband care for you so little? He knows what I can bring upon you, and yet he dares.
How could you think I should tell him?
Well, as a matter of fact, I didn't think it. It wasn't like my friend Torvald Helmer to show so much courage.
Mr. Krogstad, be good enough to speak respectfully of my husband. What is it you want?
I only wanted to tell you that you needn't take this matter too seriously. I shall not lodge any information for the present.
My husband must never know.
Can you prevent it? Can you pay off the balance?
No, not at once.
Or have you any means of raising the money in the next few days? If you offered me ever so much money down, you shall not get back your IOU.
Just tell me what you want to do with it.
I only want to keep it, to have it in my possession. No outsider shall hear anything of it. So if you have any desperate scheme in your head...
What if I have?
If you should think of leaving your husband and children, it would be very foolish. Just one domestic storm, and it's all over. I have a letter in my pocket for your husband.
You're telling him everything?
Sparing you as much as possible.
He must never read that letter. Tear it up. I'll manage to get the money somehow.
Mrs. Helmer, I want to regain my footing in the world. I want to rise, and your husband shall help me to do it. For the last 18 months, my record has been spotless. I've been in bitter need all the time, but I've been content to fight my way up, step by step. Now I've been plunged down again, and I will not be satisfied with merely being reinstated as a matter of grace. I want to rise, I tell you. I will get into the bank again in a higher position than before. Your husband shall create a place on purpose for me.
He shall never do that.
Oh, he will. I know him. He won't dare to show fight. Before a year's out, I shall be the manager's right hand. It won't be Torvald Helmer, but Nils Krogstad that manages the nut.
Oh, that shall never be.
Oh, you don't frighten me.
And you can't terrify me.
Nor you or me. People don't do that sort of thing, Mrs. Helmer. And after all, what would be the use of it? I have your husband in my pocket, after all. As soon as Helmer has received my letter, I shall expect to hear back from him. And remember that it is your husband who's forced me again into such paths, and that I can never forgive him. Goodbye, Mrs. Helmer.
No, there it lies now, Torvald. Oh, now we are lost.
There, I think it's all right now. Shall we just try it on?
Oh, Christina, come here. Do you see that letter box? There's a letter in there from Krogstad.
Nora, it was Krogstad who lent you the money?
Yes, and now Torvald will know everything.
I think it's the best thing for the both of you.
No, you don't understand. I have forged a name.
Good heavens.
Christina, listen to me. You must bear me witness.
Witness? What am I to?
If I'm to go out of my mind, and it might easily happen.
Nora, you are quite beside
Everyone
yourself.
should take the whole blame. The whole thing towards themselves. You understand?
Yes, but how can you think?
You must tell them that I knew quite well what I was saying. That I did this whole thing myself. Remember that.
I shall remember, but what do you mean?
It's the miracle coming to pass.
The miracle?
Yes. Oh, the miracle, but it's so terrible that it shouldn't happen for all the world.
I shall come straight to Krogstad and talk to him.
No, don't. He'll do you some harm.
Once he would have done anything for me.
Me?
Where does he live?
How am I? Oh, yes.
Nora?
Here's his card. Yes?
Are you trying on your dress?
Yes, Torvald. It fits me so well. Oh, we're lost. And the letter, it's still in the box.
And your husband has the key?
Yes, always.
Krogstad must demand his letter back, unread.
But
He
this-
must find some pretext.
This is the time when Torvald generally goes for...
Prevent him, keep him occupied. I shall come back as quickly as I can.
Torvald! Torvald!
Why, Nora, dear. You look so tired. Have you been practicing too hard?
Oh, no, I haven't practiced at all yet.
But you'll have to.
Oh, yes, I must. But you must help me. I've forgotten everything.
We shall soon freshen it up again.
Yes. Oh, I'm so nervous. And before so many people, you must promise to stay with me this evening.
I promise. But I must just...
No, don't do that.
Why not?
There are none there. And I can't dance tomorrow if I don't rehearse with you first.
Are you really so nervous, Nora dear?
Oh, yes. But we have time before dinner, please.
Since you wish it. No, not so violently, Nora. No, Nora, that will never do.
Don't see how much fun I'm having, Torvald.
Why, Nora, dear, you're dancing as if it were a matter of life and death.
Yes, that's why you must stay with me. You must stay with me this evening. You promise.
I promise.
And you mustn't open a single letterbox or read a single letter, Torvald.
Nora, stop! Nora, stop it! That is enough! Wow. I can see it in your face. There's a letter from him in that box.
I don't know. I believe so. But you mustn't read it. And nothing ugly must come between us until all is over.
I shall travel away, but tomorrow night, when the dance is over...
Then you shall be free.
Come, don't let us have this wild excitement. Be my own little lark again.
I will.
Found a note from you at my house.
Come in, we're quite alone.
I found a note from you at my house. What does it mean?
I must speak to you. The servants are asleep and the Helmers are upstairs at the ball.
Ah, so the Helmers are dancing this evening.
Yes, why not?
Quite right. Why not? Have we two anything to say to each other?
You have never really understood me.
What was there to understand? The most natural thing in the world. A heartless woman throws a man over when a better match offers.
Do you really think me so heartless? Do you think I broke with you lightly?
If not, why did you write me that letter?
Was it not best, since I had to break with you? Was it not right that I should try and put an end to all that you felt for me?
So that was it. And all this, for the sake of money.
You ought not to forget that I had a helpless mother and 2 little brothers. We could not wait for you, Niels, as your prospects then stood.
Perhaps not, but you had no right to cast me off for the sake of others. When I had lost you, I felt as if I had no firm ground under my feet. Look at me now. I am a shipwrecked man clinging to a spar.
Rescue may be at hand.
It was at hand, but then you came and stood in the way.
I did not know till today that it was you I was to replace at the bank.
Well, now that you do know, do you mean to give way?
No, for that would not help you in the least.
What do you mean?
You said you were a shipwrecked man clinging to a spar.
I have good reason to say so.
I too am shipwrecked and clinging to a spar. I have no one to work for.
You made your own choice.
No choice was left to me.
Well, what then?
What if 2 shipwrecked people could join hands?
What?
2 on a raft have a better chance than if each clings to a separate spar.
Christina,
What do you think brought me into town?
had you any thought of me?
I must have work or I can't bear to live. All of my life I have worked. Work has been my one great joy. And there is no joy in working for oneself, Niels. Give me somebody and something to work for.
It is simply a woman's romantic craving for self-sacrifice.
Have you ever found me romantic?
Tell me, do you know all my past?
Yes.
And do you know what people say of me?
Couldn't you have been another man if you were with me?
I'm sure of it.
Is it too late?
Christina, do you know what you are doing? Yes, you do. I see it in your face. Have you the courage then?
I need someone to be a mother to, and your children need a mother. I need you and you need me. I see your better self. With you, I fear nothing.
Thank you, Christina. Now I shall make others see me as you do. Oh, I forgot.
Hush, the tarantella. Go, go.
Why, what is it?
Do you not hear the dancing overhead? As soon as that is over, they will be here.
Of course. Do you know the steps I have taken against the Helmers?
Yes, I do.
And yet you still have the courage to...
I have seen to what lengths this spirit can drag on you.
Oh, if only I could undo it.
You still can. The letter is still in the box.
Are you sure?
Yes, but...
Is that what it all means? You want to save your friend at any cost.
woman has sold herself for the sake of others, she does not do so again.
I shall wait till Homer comes. I shall tell him to give me back the letter, that it's nothing, that it's only about my dismissal, and I don't want it to read.
No, you shall not recall the letter.
But tell me, was that not why you got me to come here in the first place?
At my first alarm, but a day has passed since then, and I have seen incredible things in this household. Helmer must know everything. There must be an end to this unhappy secret. They shall come to a full understanding.
Very well, if you like to risk it.
Make haste! Go! Let's go!
I shall wait for you in the streets. I was never so happy in all my life.
What a change, what a change. To have someone to work for, to live for. A home to make happy. Oh, if I fail, it shall not be my fault.
No, Turbo, can we please go upstairs again, please? I don't want to go yet.
Now, one more minute, Nora, dear. You know what we agreed. What? Miss Linden, you're here so late.
Oh, Christina. Good evening. Yes, I just felt like I had to see you in your costume.
Oh, have you been waiting for me?
Yes.
Well, isn't she exquisite, Miss Linden? Everyone said so, but she's dreadfully obstinate.
Oh, Torvald, if only you would have let me stay. If only a half hour more.
There, do you hear her, Miss Linden? She dances her tarantella with wild applause, and she deserved it. But was I to let her stay to awaken the impression? Not if I know it. I took my sweet little caprigo under my arm, as they say in novels, and the lovely operation vanished. An exit should always be effective, Miss Linden, but I can't get Nora to see it. Now, if you'll excuse me, I must go to my study.
So, I spoke to him, and Nora, you must tell your husband everything.
I knew it.
You have nothing to fear from Krogstad, but you must speak out.
I shall not speak.
Then the letter will.
Thank you, Christina. Now I know what I have to do. Hush! Is that Torvald coming back in?
Yes.
Well, Miss Linden, have you admired her?
Yes, and I must get going.
Why so early?
Yes, goodbye, Nora. Bye. Goodbye, Mr. Helmer.
Good night, Christina. Let me grab your coat for you. I hope you get home safely. Good night. At last we got rid of her. She's a terrible bore. You know, Nora, it's quite splendid to be back in our own home together, to be quite alone together.
Oh, don't look at me in that way, Torvald.
Am I not to look at my dearest treasure at all that is mine, wholly and entirely mine?
Tell me, what shall we do at our next masquerade?
Oh, my little featherbrain, thinking of her next already. Now, I must go empty my letterbox.
What? Torvald?
Why, what's this?
It's a letter! Torvald!
Why, Nora, dear, I feel as if I could never hold you close enough. Do you know, Nora, I often wish some danger might threaten you, that I might risk body, soul and everything for your dear sake.
Read your letters, Torvald. Good night.
Good night, Nora. I shall read these letters.
I'll never see him again. Oh, never, never. I'll never see my children again. Oh, that black, icy water, that bottomless. Oh. And now he's reading it. Oh, goodbye, Torvald. Goodbye, my little ones.
What is this? Do you know what's in this letter?
Yes, but please, no, just let me go. You shall not take my guilt upon yourself.
Wretched woman, what have you done?
You have to understand, I did this for love.
Oh, I don't want any of your melodramatic airs. Your father, too, was full of them. You must give an account of yourself. Answer. Oh, what an awful awakening. She who was my pride and joy, all these 8 years, a hypocrite, a liar, and worse, a criminal. Oh, the infallible hideousness of it all. I'd have foreseen it. All your father's wants and principles you have inherited. Be silent, Nora. All your father's wants and principles you have inherited. No religion, no morality, no sense of duty. You have ruined my whole future, destroyed my whole happiness. It's frightful to think of. I am in the power of a scoundrel.
When I'm out of this world, then you shall be free.
Oh, what good would it do me if you were out in the world, as you say? No good whatsoever. He can publish a story all the same, and I might even be suspected of involvement.
Yes, now I see what I have done.
I really don't know what to do with you, Nora. I know the children cannot be left in your... A letter from him? You shall not have it. I shall read it.
Read it?
I hardly have the courage to. Our relationship may be lost, both you and I, but I must know. Nora! Yes, it is so. I'm saved. I'm saved.
And I?
Well, you too, of course. The both of us. We're both saved. Look here. He writes that he regrets and apologizes, that had a happy turn in his life. Oh, what does it matter? You're saved, Nora. No one can harm you ever again. But first, to get rid of this hateful thing. He said that ever since Christmas Eve. Oh, my poor Nora. It must have been a terrible 3 days for you.
Yes. I fought hard these last 3 days.
Nora, I swear I've forgiven you. I know that what you did was all for the love of me.
Yes, that is true.
You must not dwell upon the hard things I said in my first moments of terror when the world seemed to be crumbling about my ears. I swear, I have forgiven you.
And I thank you for your forgiveness.
Tomorrow night, this will all seem quite different. Everything shall be as before. I shall not need to tell you again that I forgive you. You will know for yourself that it is true. Because, Nora, you do not know a true man's heart. There is something indescribably sweet and soothing to a man in having forgiven his wife. Honestly forgiven her. From the bottom of his heart, she becomes his property in a double sense. And that is what she shall henceforth be to me, my bewildered, helpless darling. Nora, only open your heart and be conscious to me. And I shall be conscious to you.
I shall not sleep tonight.
What do you mean?
Sit down. We have much to talk over.
You alarm me, Nora. I don't understand you.
See, that's just it. You don't understand me. And I've never understood you, and not till tonight. But does not one thing strike you as you sit here, Torvald? This is the first time that me and you, man and wife, have had a serious conversation together.
Oh, what have you to do with serious things that you could not help me to bear?
There we have it! You have never understood me. I have had great injustice done towards me, Torvald. First by my father, and now by you.
What? By your father and by me? By us who have loved you more than all the world?
Oh, you have never loved me. You only thought it was amusing to be in love with me.
What an expression you use about our marriage.
When I lived at my father's house, he told me all of his opinions, and I held those same opinions. And if I had others, I said nothing of them because I knew that he wouldn't have liked it. And then he would call me his doll child and play with me as I played with my dolls, and then I came to live in your house.
Why, Nora, what a thing to say.
You arranged everything according to your own taste, and I got those same tastes. Or so I pretended to. But when I look back on it now, Torvald, I seem to have been living here merely by performing tricks for you, and you would have it so. It is your fault that my life has come to nothing.
But henceforth it shall be different. Playtime is over. Now comes time for education.
You are no man to teach me how to be a fit wife for you,
Oh,
Torvald.
and you can say that.
And I? How am I to educate the children? Didn't you just say moments ago that you dare not trust them to me?
And the anticipation of the moment.
Well, you were perfectly right. I need to educate myself. And that's why I'm leaving you.
What do you mean to say?
I must stand quite alone if I need to get to know myself and my surroundings. I do say that Christina will take me in for the night.
You are mad. I shall not allow it.
It's no use you forbidding me to do anything now.
Nora, are you clear and certain enough to forsake your home, your husband, and your children? Have you not religion?
Do you consider those to be my holiest duties? Because I have other duties equally sacred.
Impossible. What duties could you mean?
My duties towards myself.
Before our else you were a wife and a mother.
That I no longer believe, Torvald. I'm so much more of a human, so much more just as much as you are. I need to get to know myself and get clear about things.
Are you not clear enough to... You are going to forsake your husband, your home? Have you not religion? Have you have no consciousness? Or perhaps, maybe you have none?
All I know is that I think quite differently from the laws than you do. And it says in the law that a woman cannot save her husband's life or spare her father trouble and anxiety, and I no longer believe that.
Oh, Nora, you do not understand the society in which you live.
No, I do not. But I shall try and learn. And I need to make up my mind which is right, society or I.
Oh, you think and talk like a silly child.
When the terror was over, Torvald, not for what threatened you, but for what threatened your whole reputation? You called me your lark again, your doll, just as if nothing had happened. And you were to take twice as much care of me in the future, just as if I was weak and fragile. And Torvald, in that moment, it burst upon me that I'd been living in this house with a complete stranger, and I'd borne him 3 children, and I could tear myself to pieces.
I see it, Nora. I think I finally understand. The abyss is open between us. But tell me, can it never be filled again?
As I am now, I can be no wife towards you.
But I cannot part without you.
The more for the thing to happen.
Nora, but you must stay.
And I won't go to the children. I know that they're in much better hands than you. And it says in the law that you're free from all duties towards your wife if she leaves you, and that's what I'm doing. So take your ring. Take your ring. And give me mine.
Here.
Now it is all over.
But I must.
No.
I mustn't.
Nothing. I accept nothing from strangers.
Is that all I can never be to you? Nothing but a stranger?
Oh, Torvald, then the miracle of miracles would have had to happen. And it didn't. Because both of us should have had to change so that...
Oh, Nora, I don't understand.
I no longer believe in miracles, Torvald.
But I will believe.
Goodbye.
But Nora, please. Empty. She is gone. What was this miracle of miracles?